My beloved soul, pause for just a moment, because what you are about to hear is not a coincidence. This message has found you at a precise second in your life, one that was written long before you even took your first breath. Something extraordinary is happening right now. You may have been scrolling, distracted, or even feeling lost, but suddenly, here you are. And that is not random. This is a divine interruption, a sacred signal, a whisper carried through unseen realms sent directly to you. Because at this very moment, the grace of Archangel Michael is surrounding you. Yes, you. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. There is a presence near you that you cannot see, yet your spirit feels it. A quiet strength. A protective energy. A calm in the middle of your uncertainty. That is not your imagination. That is divine grace wrapping around your life like a shield of light. And here is the truth that may surprise you. You were chosen to hear this. Out of millions of voices, distractions, and noise in this world, this message reached you. That alone should tell you something powerful. Your life is not ordinary. Your path is not random. There is something about you that heaven recognizes. But there is more. There is a date approaching, a date that holds a deeper meaning than you realize. June 24th. This is not just another day on the calendar. This is a spiritual turning point. A moment where something hidden begins to reveal itself. A moment where the energy around your life begins to shift in ways you may not fully understand yet, but you will feel it. Have you noticed something lately? A strange feeling inside, like something is changing. Moments of deep thinking, questions about your purpose, or even a quiet sense that something bigger is unfolding. That is not confusion. That is awakening. And Archangel Michael is stepping closer to you in this season, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of something you may have forgotten. You are a chosen child of the light. Let that sink in. You are not here by accident. You are not walking through life without direction. Even in your hardest moments, even in your doubts, your destiny has already been written. Not by chance, but in the stars of heaven. There is a plan over your life that no one can erase. A calling that cannot be silenced. And even when you feel lost, you are still being guided. Right now, something is being aligned behind the scenes. Doors you cannot yet see are preparing to open. Truths you have been seeking are preparing to surface. And the grace surrounding you in this moment is not temporary. It is preparation. Preparation for what is coming next. So do not scroll away from this moment, because this is only the beginning of what you are meant to understand. Tell me, are you ready to receive what comes next? There is a reason your eyes are resting on these words at this exact moment, and it goes far deeper than curiosity or coincidence. In the unseen realm, timing is never accidental. Every encounter, every pause, every sudden pull you feel towards something meaningful is orchestrated with precision. This message did not simply appear before you. You were led to it. Quietly, gently, and intentionally. Your spirit was guided here because something within you is ready to awaken. You may not have realized it at first. Perhaps you felt a subtle nudge, an unexplained urge to stop and listen, or even a sense that something important was waiting for you. That feeling was not random. It was the touch of divine alignment, a moment where heaven and your life intersected in perfect harmony. And in that sacred intersection, Archangel Michael stands as a protector, a guide, and a messenger, ensuring that what you are meant to receive cannot pass you by. There have been moments recently when you felt uncertain, maybe even overwhelmed. Times when your thoughts became heavier than usual, when your heart searched for clarity, but found silence instead. You may have questioned your direction, your purpose, or even your strength. But what you did not see was the unseen hand steadying you through it all. What felt like confusion was often redirection. What felt like delay was actually preparation. This is how divine guidance often works. It does not always come with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Sometimes it comes quietly, through a message like this, arriving at the exact moment your spirit is open enough to receive it. And right now, whether you realize it fully or not, you are in a space where something within you is ready to understand more than it did before. Think back to the past few days or even weeks. Have you felt a shift in your energy? A deeper sense of awareness? Maybe you've been noticing patterns, repeating thoughts, or a growing desire for something more meaningful in your life. These are not small things. These are signals. They are signs that your spiritual awareness is expanding, that your soul is reaching toward something higher, something greater than what you have known so far. And in this exact phase of your journey, the presence of Archangel Michael becomes even more significant. He does not arrive without purpose. He steps closer when you are at a point of transition, when something in your life is about to change or be revealed. His presence is not just protection, it is confirmation. Confirmation that you are not lost, that you are not forgotten, and that everything unfolding in your life has meaning, even if it has not yet fully made sense to you. You may have felt alone in certain struggles, carrying thoughts or emotions that you could not easily explain to others. But you were never truly alone. There has always been a divine awareness of your journey, a watchful presence ensuring that even in your lowest moments, you were not without guidance. And now, that guidance is becoming more visible, more tangible, more direct. This message is part of that clarity. It is not here to confuse you or overwhelm you, but to remind you, to gently bring your attention back to the truth that has always been there. Your life is guided, your path is intentional, and your presence in this moment is part of something greater than you can currently see. There is also something important you need to understand about timing. When a message like this finds you, it means you are no longer in the same place you once were. You have grown, even if you did not notice it. You have endured things that have strengthened you in ways you may not yet fully recognize. And because of that growth, you are now ready to receive insight that you may not have been ready for before. That is why this moment matters. You are not hearing this too early, and you are not hearing it too late. You are hearing it exactly when you are meant to. And as you continue to listen, to reflect, and to remain open, more will begin to make sense. The questions that once felt heavy will begin to feel lighter. The uncertainty will begin to shift into understanding. And through it all, Archangel Michael remains near, not distant, not silent, but actively present, guiding, protecting, and reminding you that every step you are taking is leading you somewhere meaningful. So as you move forward from this moment, carry this awareness with you. You were guided here for a reason. Not by chance, not by accident, but by design. And what is being revealed to you is only just beginning. There is something different about you, and deep down, you have always known it, even if you could never fully explain it. It is not something you learn from the world, and it is not something others easily understand. It is something you were born with. A quiet awareness, a sensitivity to things others overlook, a feeling that you are here for more than just an ordinary life. This is not your imagination. This is the mark of a chosen child of light. From an early point in your life, you may have noticed that you felt things more deeply than others. Emotions were not just surface experiences for you. They ran deep, sometimes overwhelming, sometimes confusing. You could walk into a room and sense the energy without a word being spoken. You could feel when something was off, even when everything appeared normal. This sensitivity was never a weakness. It was a sign, a spiritual awareness placed within you for a higher purpose. At times, this awareness may have made you feel isolated. You may have wondered why others did not see what you see or feel what you feel. There may have been moments when you questioned yourself, thinking you were too emotional, too different, or too misunderstood. But the truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were set apart, not to be alone, but to carry a light that others have not yet awakened to. A chosen child of light often walks through seasons of loneliness, not because they are abandoned, but because they are being prepared. Preparation requires growth, and growth often happens in quiet spaces where distractions are removed. In those moments when you felt disconnected or uncertain, something deeper was being formed within you: strength, clarity, and spiritual depth that cannot be taught, only experienced. There is also a pattern that follows those who are chosen. Challenges seem to appear more frequently. Obstacles feel heavier. Situations arise that test your patience, your faith, and your resilience. You may have asked yourself, why does this keep happening to me? But what you were facing was not punishment. It was refinement. Just like gold is purified through fire, your spirit has been strengthened through everything you have endured. And through all of it, whether you realized it or not, Archangel Michael has been present. Not always in ways you could see, but in ways you could feel. In the moments when things could have gone wrong but somehow did not. In the times when you felt a sudden sense of calm in the middle of chaos. In the unexplainable protection that surrounded you when you needed it most. That was not luck. That was divine covering. Being chosen does not mean your life will be easy. In many ways it means the opposite. It means you are entrusted with something greater, something that requires growth, awareness, and courage. You are not just living for yourself. You are walking a path that will influence others, even in ways you may never fully see. Your presence, your words, your energy, they carry light. And that light has the power to shift environments, to bring clarity, and to awaken others. But here is what many do not tell you: being chosen also requires acceptance. You must come to a point where you stop resisting who you are and begin to embrace it. The more you try to fit into spaces that were not designed for you, the more you will feel out of place. But when you begin to accept your nature, your sensitivity, your awareness, everything starts to make sense. You are not here to follow the crowd. You are here to lead in ways that may not always be loud but are deeply impactful. Sometimes your role is simply to carry peace into places that feel heavy. Sometimes it is to speak truth when others remain silent. Sometimes it is just to exist in your authenticity, allowing others to feel safe enough to do the same. And now, in this moment, as this message reaches you, something important is happening. You are beginning to recognize yourself more clearly. The confusion is slowly fading, and understanding is beginning to rise. You are starting to see that everything you have experienced, the sensitivity, the challenges, the isolation, was not random. It was preparation for the role you are stepping into. So do not question your path anymore. Do not shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Do not ignore the voice within you that knows there is more. You are a chosen child of the light, and that truth cannot be taken away from you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. I feel led to speak directly to those whose hearts are stirred right now. When you choose to sow into this message, you are not giving to a channel. You are releasing light into souls that are still searching in darkness. The Lord says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not just a verse. It is a living promise being activated through your obedience. As you feel this pull in your spirit, say within yourself, I am stepping into this divine assignment, and act on it without hesitation. The same way this message found you at the right moment, your giving becomes the bridge that carries it to someone else who is waiting. Heaven records every seed, and nothing given in faith returns empty. So step into this flow of purpose. Release your seed through Super Thanks or PayPal, using the link in the description or the QR code before you. And as you give, receive this truth. Your provision will never run dry, because you are aligned with the source of all abundance. There is a layer to your life that cannot be seen with human eyes, yet it influences more than you realize. What you have been experiencing is not only physical, emotional, or mental, it is also spiritual. There is a hidden battle that surrounds your journey, and understanding this changes everything. Because once you recognize it, you stop blaming yourself for things that were never meant to break you in the first place. There have been moments when things felt unusually difficult, as if resistance appeared out of nowhere. Plans did not go as expected. Doors that seemed open suddenly closed. People you trusted may have shifted in ways you did not understand. At times, it felt like you were moving forward, only to be pulled back again. That pattern is not random. It is often the result of unseen opposition trying to delay what is meant for you. A chosen child of light does not walk through life unnoticed. Your presence carries something valuable, something powerful, something that disrupts darkness simply by existing. And because of that, there are forces that do not want you to fully realize who you are. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong. Not because you are lost, but because you are close to discovering something that will change everything. This is why the battle often intensifies right before a breakthrough. Think about the times when you were on the edge of clarity, when you felt like you were about to understand something important or step into something new. That is often when confusion increases, when distractions become louder, when doubt tries to creep in. It is not a coincidence. It is resistance attempting to interrupt your progress. But here is what you must hold on to. Resistance does not mean defeat. In fact, it often means the opposite. It means you are moving in the right direction. In these moments, the presence of Archangel Michael becomes even more powerful. He is not distant from your struggles. He stands within them, as a protector and a warrior, ensuring that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. His role is not just symbolic, it is active. He guards, he strengthens, and he intervenes in ways you may never fully see, but you can feel. Have you ever experienced a moment where something could have gone wrong, but somehow it didn't? Or a situation where you felt an unexplainable sense of peace, even though everything around you was chaotic? That is not chance. That is protection. That is divine intervention stepping in at the exact moment it was needed. The hidden battle is not something to fear, but something to understand. Because when you understand it, you stop reacting with anxiety and start responding with awareness. You begin to see that not every delay is a denial. Not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes, what feels like a setback is actually a form of protection, redirecting you away from something that was not aligned with your purpose. There is also something important about your thoughts during these times. The battle is not always external. It often tries to enter through your mind. Doubt, fear, overthinking, and self-questioning can become louder when you are on the verge of something significant. It may feel like your own voice, but often it is influenced by the pressure of the unseen struggle around you. That is why your awareness is so important right now. You are not meant to absorb every negative thought that passes through your mind. You are meant to recognize what aligns with your truth and what does not. You are meant to stand firm in who you are becoming, even when everything around you feels uncertain. And here is the deeper truth. The battle you are facing is not stronger than the grace that surrounds you. And no matter how intense things may feel, there is a greater force at work in your life. A force that is not trying to harm you, but to guide you. A presence that is not trying to confuse you, but to protect you. And that presence has been with you through every step of your journey, even when you were not aware of it. You are not fighting this battle alone. You never were. What you are going through right now is part of a larger process. A process that is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what is ahead. The resistance you feel is not the end of your story. It is a sign that something meaningful is approaching. So do not let the pressure cause you to step back. Do not let the confusion convince you to give up. Stand where you are, with the understanding that you are supported in ways you cannot fully see. Because even in the middle of this hidden battle, you are still being guided forward. There is a truth about your life that you have only felt in fragments, like pieces of a puzzle that never fully came together, until now. You have sensed it in quiet moments, in deep thoughts, in those times when you looked at the sky and felt something stir inside you. That feeling was not imagination. It was recognition, a remembrance of something eternal. Because your destiny was never created on the earth alone. It was written in the stars of heaven long before you arrived here. When people hear the phrase "written in the stars," they often think of something distant or symbolic. But for you, it is deeply real. It speaks of a divine blueprint, a plan that exists beyond human understanding. Your life is not a random sequence of events. It is a carefully designed path, guided by a higher intelligence that sees far beyond what you can currently see. Before you ever faced your first challenge, before you ever questioned your purpose, there was already a design in place. Every gift you carry, every sensitivity you feel, every moment that shaped you, it was all part of that design. Even the things that seem painful or confusing were not outside of it. They were threads woven into something greater, something meaningful, something that is still unfolding. You may have wondered, at times, why your journey has felt so different from others. Why your path has not been simple or predictable. Why you have had to grow through experiences that others may not fully understand. The answer lies in this truth. Your destiny requires depth. It requires awareness. It requires a level of transformation that cannot happen without experience. And this is where the connection to heaven becomes even more powerful. Your life is not only being lived, it is being guided. There is a constant flow of divine awareness surrounding you, ensuring that no matter how lost you may feel at times, you are never outside of your path. You may not always recognize the direction, but that does not mean direction is not there. There have been moments when things did not make sense, when you questioned why certain events happened the way they did. But what you could not see in those moments was how everything was aligning in ways that only heaven could orchestrate. What felt like chaos was often coordination. What felt like delay was often divine timing. And within this divine structure, Archangel Michael plays a significant role, not as a distant figure, but as an active presence within your journey, a guardian of your path, a protector of your purpose, ensuring that what has been written for you cannot be erased or taken away. There is also something important about the way your destiny reveals itself. It does not always come all at once. It unfolds in layers. Just as you grow, your understanding grows with you. There are things you are beginning to realize now that you could not have understood before. Not because you were incapable, but because the timing was not yet right. But now, something is shifting. You are entering a phase where more clarity will begin to surface, where the pieces that once felt disconnected will start to come together, where the questions that once felt heavy will begin to feel lighter, not because they disappear, but because the answers start to reveal themselves. This is not something you need to force. It is something you need to allow. The more you try to control every detail, the more difficult it becomes to see the bigger picture. But when you begin to trust that there is a plan unfolding, even when you do not fully understand it, something within you begins to relax. And in that space of trust, clarity begins to grow. You are not walking blindly through life. You are walking through a story that has already been written, even if you have only read a few pages of it so far. And the part you are stepping into now carries more meaning than you realize. There is a reason you feel drawn to something more. A reason you cannot settle for life that feels empty or disconnected. A reason your spirit continues to search for deeper truth. It is because your destiny is not small. It is not ordinary. It carries weight, purpose, and impact. And as you continue forward, you will begin to see glimpses of that more clearly. The path may not always be easy, but it will always be meaningful. The direction may not always be obvious, but it will always be guided. And no matter what you face, there is one truth that remains constant. What has been written in the stars of heaven over your life cannot be undone. It is already set into motion, and you are already walking in it. There are certain moments in life that carry more weight than others, moments that seem ordinary on the surface but hold a deeper spiritual significance beneath. June 24th is one of those moments for you. It is not just a date. It is an activation point, a shift, a quiet turning of something unseen that begins to move your life in a new direction. You may not wake up that day to loud signs or dramatic changes, but something within you will recognize that a transition has begun. It will feel subtle at first, like a gentle stirring in your spirit, a sense that something has changed, even if you cannot yet explain what it is. That feeling is important. It is the signal that alignment has begun to take place. For a long time, things may have felt like they were on hold. You may have experienced delays, confusion, or even a sense of stagnation, as if you were waiting for something that never fully arrived. But what you did not see was that behind the scenes, everything was being positioned carefully. Every delay had a purpose. Every pose had a reason. Nothing was wasted. June 24th marks the moment when that preparation begins to shift into movement. It is the point where what has been building internally starts to reflect externally. Not all at once, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a steady and intentional way that begins to reshape your path. This could come as clarity in your thoughts, a new opportunity, a sudden realization, or even a change in how you feel about something that once confused you. You may notice that certain things no longer hold the same weight they once did. Situations that used to bother you may begin to feel distant. People or environments that no longer align with you may start to fall away naturally. This is not loss. It is alignment. It is your life adjusting to match the direction you are meant to move in. There is also a strong sense of release connected to this moment. What you have been carrying, whether it is emotional weight, unanswered questions, or lingering doubt, begins to loosen its hold on you. You may not even realize it at first, but something inside you will feel lighter. That heaviness you have grown used to will start to fade, replaced by a sense of calm that feels unfamiliar but deeply needed. This is where the presence of Archangel Michael becomes even more active in your awareness, not only as a protector, but as a guide through this transition. His energy does not force change, it supports it. It creates space for clarity to enter, for truth to rise, and for you to step forward without fear holding you back. On or around June 24th, you may also begin to notice signs. These signs are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to confirm what is already happening. It could be repeated thoughts that suddenly make sense, unexpected conversations that bring insight, or moments where everything feels aligned in a way that is difficult to explain. Pay attention to these moments. They are not coincidences. They are confirmations. This is also a time where your intuition becomes stronger. That inner voice that you may have doubted before will begin to feel clearer, more steady, more trustworthy. You will start to feel guided from within, not just influenced by what is happening around you. And that shift is powerful because it moves you from uncertainty into quiet confidence. But there is something you must understand about this transition. It requires your willingness. You do not need to force anything, but you do need to allow it. Holding on to what no longer serves you will only slow down what is trying to unfold. This is a moment of trust, a moment of letting go of control and allowing your path to move as it is meant to. You are not stepping into something unknown. You are stepping into something that has already been prepared for you. And even if you cannot see the full picture yet, you are being guided through it with precision. June 24th is not the end of something. It is the beginning of a new phase. A phase where things begin to make more sense. Where your path feels more aligned. Where the confusion starts to clear and direction begins to form. So when that day arrives, do not look for something dramatic. Instead, feel for what is shifting within you, because that is where the real transformation begins. And once it begins, it will continue to unfold in ways you are only just starting to understand. Something has already started changing within you, even before you fully understood why. It did not arrive with a clear explanation or a loud announcement. Instead, it came quietly, almost unnoticed at first. But now, if you pause and reflect, you can feel it. A shift. A difference in the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you respond to things around you. This is not something external happening to you. This is something internal awakening within you. There have been moments recently where your emotions felt stronger than usual. Times when you felt deeply connected to your thoughts, as if you were seeing things from a new perspective. Situations that once felt simple may now feel layered, carrying meanings you did not notice before. This is not confusion. It is awareness expanding. You may have also noticed changes in your energy. Some days feel heavier, almost like you are carrying something you cannot explain. Other days feel lighter, filled with a sense of calm or clarity that seems to come out of nowhere. This fluctuation is not random. It is part of the transition you are going through. As your awareness grows, your energy begins to adjust. You are becoming more sensitive to what aligns with you and what does not. Environments that once felt normal may now feel uncomfortable. Conversations that once felt easy may now feel draining. This is not because something is wrong. It is because you are no longer the same. Growth changes your alignment. And when your alignment changes, everything around you begins to feel different. There is also a deeper layer to this shift that you may not have fully recognized yet. Your intuition is becoming stronger. That quiet inner voice that you may have doubted in the past is beginning to speak more clearly. You may find yourself knowing things without needing an explanation, feeling guided in certain directions without understanding why. This is not something to ignore. This is something to trust. Because as this shift continues, your connection to guidance becomes more direct. You are no longer relying only on what you see. You are beginning to sense what is beyond the surface. At times, this can feel overwhelming. There may be moments when you wish things felt simple again. when you did not notice so much, when your thoughts were not as deep or as constant. But what you are experiencing is not a burden, it is an awakening. And awakenings are not always comfortable, but they are always meaningful. This is the process of becoming more aware of who you truly are. And within this process, Archangel Michael is not distant. His presence becomes more noticeable as your awareness increases. Not because he suddenly appears, but because you are becoming more open to recognizing what has always been there. You may feel his presence as a sense of protection during uncertain moments, a calm that settles over you when things feel chaotic, a quiet reassurance that you are not alone, even when everything around you feels unclear. This is part of the shift. You are moving from a place of questioning into a place of knowing. But with this shift also comes release. You may find yourself letting go of things without forcing it. Thoughts, habits, connections, or even old versions of yourself that no longer feel aligned. This can feel strange at first, like you are losing something. But in truth, you are making space. Space for clarity. Space for growth. Space for what is meant to enter your life next. There is also a reason why things may feel unstable at times during this transition. When something new is forming, the old structure begins to loosen. What once felt certain may now feel uncertain. What once felt secure may now feel temporary. This is not chaos. This is transformation. It is the space between who you were and who you are becoming. And while that space can feel uncomfortable, it is also powerful, because it is where real change takes place. You are not meant to stay in this in-between phase forever. It is a passage, not a destination. A moment of adjustment before alignment fully settles in. So if you have been feeling different lately, if you have sensed this shift but could not explain it, understand this. You are not imagining it. Something is changing within you. Something is aligning around you. And as this shift continues, you will begin to feel more grounded in who you are becoming. Not all at once, not instantly, but steadily. And with each step forward, the uncertainty will begin to fade, replaced by a quiet confidence that does not need explanation. Because deep down, you will start to know you are exactly where you need to be. There is a moment in every journey where everything begins to shift, not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because the timing has finally aligned. You are standing at the edge of that moment now. The door that has remained closed for so long, the one you may have questioned, waited on, or even doubted is beginning to open. This is not just about opportunity in the way the world defines it. This is deeper. This is about revelation, verity, truth rising to the surface in a way that cannot be ignored anymore. What was once hidden will begin to make itself known. What once felt confusing will begin to feel clear. And what once felt distant will begin to feel within reach. You may not see the full outline of this door yet, but you can feel it. There is a subtle anticipation in your spirit, a quiet knowing that something is about to change. That feeling is not false. It is the signal that alignment is taking place. For a long time, you may have felt like you were standing still, like nothing was moving forward no matter how much you tried. But what you could not see was that the door was not locked. It was simply waiting for the right moment to open. And that moment is now approaching. As this door begins to open, one of the first things you will notice is clarity. Not all at once, but in pieces. You will begin to understand situations that once confused you. You will see people more clearly, without illusion or doubt clouding your judgment. And most importantly, you will begin to understand yourself in a way you never have before. This clarity will not always feel comfortable, because with truth comes release. There are things you have been holding on to, thoughts, beliefs, connections that no longer align with who you are becoming. And as this door opens, those things will naturally begin to fall away, not as a loss, but as a necessary step forward. You are not being asked to hold on to everything. You are being guided to let go of what no longer serves your path. This is where trust becomes essential, because stepping through a new door always requires leaving something behind. There may be moments where you hesitate, where you question whether you are ready, whether you are prepared for what lies ahead. But understand this: if the door is opening, it means you are ready. Not perfect, not without questions, but ready. And you are not stepping forward alone. Archangel Michael is present in this transition, not as a distant observer, but as an active guide. His role in this moment is to help you move forward without fear controlling your steps, to remind you that what is ahead of you is not meant to harm you, but to elevate you. There is also something important about timing here. You may feel like this should have happened sooner. You may look back and wonder why it took so long for this door to open. But if it had opened earlier, you would not have been the person you are now. You would not have had the awareness, the strength, or the understanding that you carry in this moment. Everything you went through was preparation. Preparation to recognize the door. Preparation to walk through it with confidence. Preparation to handle what comes next. As this moment unfolds, you may also notice opportunities appearing in unexpected ways. Conversations that bring insight. Situations that align naturally without force. Ideas that come to you with clarity instead of confusion. These are not coincidences. These are pathways connected to the door that is opening. Pay attention to what feels aligned. Pay attention to what feels natural, because that is where your path is leading. This is not a moment to rush or force anything. It is a moment to stay aware, to stay present, and to trust what is unfolding in front of you. The more you resist, the more difficult it may feel. But the more you allow, the more smoothly things will begin to move. You are not being pushed into something unknown. You are being guided into something that has been prepared for you. And as this door opens, you will begin to see that everything you have experienced, the delays, the confusion, the waiting, was leading to this exact point. So do not hold back. Do not doubt the shift you are feeling. Step forward with trust, because what is opening before you now is meant for you. Type "I step forward" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now activated. I feel a strong calling to speak to those who sense this door opening in their spirit. When you sow into this moment, you are not just giving. You are unlocking doors for others who are still waiting in silence for a message like this. The Lord declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and right now, your seed becomes a light in someone else's darkness. As you feel this prompting, say within yourself, "I am part of this divine flow," and move in obedience without hesitation. This message reached you because someone, somewhere, chose to give, and now you are being invited into that same sacred exchange. Your giving becomes a key that opens spiritual doors far beyond what you can see. Release your seed through Super Thanks or PayPal using the link in the description or the QR code, and step into this moment fully. And as you do, receive this promise: every door aligned with your purpose will open in perfect timing, and no force will be able to close what heaven has begun. There is a version of you that is beginning to emerge, and it is not the same person you were even a short time ago. This change is not loud or obvious to everyone around you, but within you, it is undeniable. Something is shifting in your identity, in your awareness, in the way you carry yourself through life. You are not just going through change, you are becoming someone new. For a long time, you may have defined yourself by your past experiences, the things you went through, the challenges you face, the moments that shaped your understanding of the world. And while those experiences were real and important, they were never meant to limit who you could become. They were meant to prepare you. Now, you are stepping into a version of yourself that is no longer controlled by what has already happened. You are beginning to see beyond your past, beyond your doubts, beyond the fears that once held you back. And this shift is powerful because it allows you to move forward without carrying the weight that once slowed you down. You may have already noticed this in small ways. Your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered strong emotions may now feel distant or manageable. Situations that once caused confusion may now feel clear. You are starting to respond instead of react. You are beginning to pause, to think, to choose your direction instead of being pulled by every emotion that arises. This is growth. This is awareness. This is transformation. There is also a new strength forming within you. Not the kind of strength that needs to prove itself to others, but a quiet, steady strength that comes from within. A strength that allows you to stand firm even when things feel uncertain. A strength that does not collapse under pressure, but instead becomes more grounded. This strength did not appear overnight. It was built through everything you have experienced. Every challenge, every moment of doubt, every time you had to keep going even when it was difficult. Those moments shaped this strength within you. And now, you are beginning to use it. There is also a deeper sense of clarity forming around your identity. You are starting to understand what aligns with you and what does not. You are becoming more selective with your energy, more aware of where you invest your time and attention. This is not distance, it is alignment. You are no longer trying to fit into spaces that do not match who you are becoming. You are allowing your life to reflect your true self. This can feel unfamiliar at times. There may be moments where you look at your life and realize that certain things no longer feel the same. Actions may shift. Priorities may change. Even your perspective on yourself may feel different. This is not something to fear. This is a sign that you are evolving. And evolution always brings change. As this new version of you continues to take shape, Archangel Michael remains present in your journey. Not to control who you become, but to guide you toward the highest version of yourself. His presence supports your growth, strengthens your awareness, and reminds you that you are not walking this path alone. You may also begin to feel a stronger sense of purpose, not necessarily a fully defined plan, but a deeper understanding that your life carries meaning, that you are not just moving through time without direction, but that you are part of something greater. This sense of purpose may show up as a desire to grow, to learn, to connect more deeply with truth. It may show up as a pull toward something new, something that feels aligned with who you are becoming. Even if you do not fully understand it yet, that pull is important. It is guiding you. There is also something you must release as you step into this new version of yourself: the need to doubt your growth. You may still have moments where you question whether you are truly changing, whether you are truly moving forward. But look at where you are now compared to where you once were. Look at how you think, how you feel, how you respond. The change is there. You are not the same person, and you are not meant to go back to who you were. This transformation is not temporary. It is not something that will fade. It is something that will continue to deepen as you move forward. With each experience, with each realization, with each step you take, you are becoming more aligned with your true self. So do not hold on to old versions of yourself out of familiarity. Do not return to old patterns out of comfort. Keep moving forward, because the person you are becoming is stronger, clearer, and more aligned than you have ever been before. And this is only the beginning of who you are meant to be. There is a moment in every transformation where things feel more intense than usual. A moment where, just when you think you are moving forward, something arises that challenges you again. This moment can feel confusing, even discouraging, if you do not understand what it truly is. But what you are experiencing now, or what is about to come, is not a setback. It is a test before the breakthrough. This kind of test does not come to stop you. It comes to reveal you. It reveals how much you have grown. It shows you the strength you now carry. It brings to the surface everything you have learned so that you can see, clearly, that you are no longer who you used to be. But while this test has a purpose, it does not always feel easy. You may find yourself facing situations that seem familiar. Old patterns may try to return. Thoughts you believed you had overcome may resurface. Circumstances may arise that challenge your patience, your confidence, or your sense of direction. It can feel like you are being pulled backward, like everything you work toward is being questioned. But this is not regression. This is confirmation. Because the test only appears when you are ready for it. If you were not ready, it would not be in front of you. And if it is in front of you now, it means you already carry what is needed to move through it. You are not being asked to become stronger. You are being shown that you already are. There is also something important about the timing of this test. It often appears right before something significant is about to happen. Right before clarity arrives. Right before a door fully opens. Right before a shift becomes permanent. This is why it feels so intense. Because it is positioned at the edge of your breakthrough. And the purpose is simple: to see if you will step forward as the person you are becoming, or fall back into who you used to be. This is where your awareness matters more than ever. You are no longer reacting without understanding. You are no longer moving blindly through challenges. You are seeing things more clearly now. You are recognizing patterns, noticing your thoughts, becoming aware of what aligns with you and what does not. Use that awareness. When doubt appears, do not accept it as truth. When fear rises, do not let it control your direction. When old habits try to return, recognize them for what they are: familiar, but no longer aligned. This test is not about perfection. It is about choice. Each moment within it gives you a choice to respond from your old self or from your new awareness. And every time you choose differently, every time you stand firm instead of falling back, you are moving through the test successfully. You may not feel victorious in the moment. You may still feel the pressure, the weight, the uncertainty. But your response is what matters. And with each response, you are strengthening the version of yourself that is ready for what comes next. This is also where the presence of Archangel Michael becomes even more significant. Not because the challenge is too great, but because you are being supported as you move through it. His presence is not removing the test. It is guiding you through it, ensuring that you do not lose your way in the process. You may feel this support as a quiet reassurance when things feel overwhelming. A sense of calm that appears without explanation. A subtle reminder within you that says, keep going. That is not your imagination. That is guidance. And it is there because you are not meant to fail this moment. You are meant to rise through it. There is also a deeper truth you need to understand. The breakthrough you are approaching is not small. It is not temporary. It is something that will shift your direction in a meaningful way. And because of that, the test is necessary. It ensures that you are fully prepared. Prepared not just to receive what is coming, but to sustain it. Prepared to handle it with clarity instead of confusion. Prepared to step into it without fear pulling you back. So if things feel intense right now, you not see it as a sign to stop. See it as a sign that you are close. Closer than you have been before. And as you continue forward, remember this. The test is not there to defeat you. It is there to reveal that you have already overcome. And once you move through it, the breakthrough will no longer be something you are waiting for. It will be something you are living. There have been moments in your life when you quietly asked for a sign. Not always out loud, not always in words, but deep within yourself. A question formed in your spirit. Am I on the right path? Is there more for me? Am I being guided, or am I just hoping? Those questions did not go unheard. They were received, acknowledged, and held with care. And this moment right now, this message, this realization, this clarity you are beginning to feel, is your confirmation. It may not look the way you expected. It may not come with dramatic signs or undeniable proof that the world can see. But confirmation rarely arrives in loud, obvious ways. It comes in alignment. It comes in timing. It comes in that quiet moment where something inside you simply knows, this is meant for me. You were not searching randomly when you found this. You were being guided. Think about how many paths you could have taken today. How many distractions could have pulled your attention elsewhere. And yet, here you are, receiving a message that speaks directly to your spirit. That is not chance. That is direction. For a long time, you may have felt uncertain about where you were going. You may have questioned your decisions, your instincts, even your purpose. You may have looked at others and wondered if they had clarity that you did not. But what you are beginning to understand now is that your path was never meant to look like anyone else's. Your journey is personal. Your growth is unique. And your confirmation comes in ways that are meant specifically for you. This is why you are feeling this shift now. This is why things are starting to make more sense. Not all at once, not in perfect clarity, but enough for you to recognize that you are not lost. Enough for you to feel that there is direction, even if you cannot yet see the entire path. There is also something deeper happening within you. Your trust is beginning to grow. Not just trust in what is around you, but trust in yourself. Trust in your awareness. Trust in that inner voice that has been guiding you, even when you doubted it. You are starting to listen differently now. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with openness. And that changes everything. Because when you trust what you feel, you move differently. You make decisions with more clarity. You stop second-guessing every step. You begin to walk with a quiet confidence that does not need validation from others. This is what confirmation does. It does not just answer your questions. It strengthens your foundation. And as this foundation becomes stronger, you will notice something else. Synchronicities. Moments where things align in ways that feel too precise to ignore. Repeated thoughts that begin to make sense. Encounters that bring exactly the insight you needed at the right time. These are not coincidences. They are signals, reinforcing what you are already beginning to understand. You are on the right path. Even if the path is not fully visible, it is still correct. And within all of this, Archangel Michael remains present as a steady force in your journey. Not just protecting you, but affirming you. His presence is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to reassure you, to remind you that you are supported, that you are guided, and that you are not moving through life without direction. There is also something important about the timing of this confirmation. It is arriving now because you are ready to receive it. If it had come earlier, you might have doubted it. You might have questioned it, or even ignored it. But now, after everything you have experienced, you are in a place where you can feel it, where you can recognize it, where you can accept it. And that acceptance is what allows you to move forward. You are no longer searching in the same way. You are no longer questioning from a place of confusion. You are beginning to move with understanding. So take this moment for what it is. Not just a message, not just words, but confirmation. Confirmation that your journey has meaning. Confirmation that your path is guided. Confirmation that everything you have been moving through has led you to this point for a reason. And as you carry this understanding forward, something within you will begin to settle. The questions will become quieter. The doubt will begin to fade. And in its place, there will be a steady knowing. A knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. And that where you are going next is already aligned with who you are becoming. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to settle into this moment, because everything you have just received was not meant to rush you. It was meant to bring you into peace. Not a temporary peace, not something fragile, but a deep and steady calm that comes from knowing you are held, guided, and surrounded by something greater than yourself. You have walked through confusion, through questions, through moments where you did not understand what was happening in your life. You have felt the weight of uncertainty and the pressure of not knowing what comes next. But now, something within you is beginning to soften. Not because everything is suddenly perfect, but because you are beginning to trust what is unfolding. That trust is where your peace lies. You are no longer standing in the same place you once were. You are not the same person who doubted every step, who questioned every feeling, who felt lost without direction. You have moved forward, even when it was difficult. You have grown, even when it was uncomfortable. And now, you are arriving at a space where you can finally rest, not in stillness, but in assurance. Because the grace surrounding you in this moment is real. It is not something you have to chase. It is not something you have to earn. It is already here, wrapping around your life, steadying your path, and holding you in ways you may not always see, but you can feel. And within that grace, Archangel Michael remains close, not as a distant figure, but as a constant presence, walking beside you, protecting what is meant for you, and guiding you forward with a quiet strength that does not need to announce itself. His presence is not loud, but it is powerful. It is felt in your calm moments, in your clarity, in the quiet reassurance that everything is going to be all right. There is nothing you need to force from here, nothing you need to rush. What is meant for you is already moving toward you just as you are moving toward it. June 24th is not something to fear or overthink. It is something to receive. A moment of alignment. A continuation of the path you are already walking. And as it arrives, you will not need to question it. You will feel it. You will recognize the shift. You will sense the clarity. You will know that something has changed. But even beyond that date, beyond that moment, there is something you must carry with you. You are safe in your journey. Even when things feel uncertain, you are guided. Even when things feel delayed, you are aligned. Even when things feel unclear, you are not lost. This is what it means to rest in grace. It is not about having all the answers. It is about trusting that the answers will come when they are meant to. It is about allowing yourself to breathe, to release the need to control everything, and to simply move forward with quiet confidence. Because your life is not unfolding by accident. It is unfolding with intention. Every step you have taken has brought you here. Every moment you have experienced has shaped who you are becoming. and everything ahead of you is already being prepared. So let go of the weight you have been carrying. Let go of the need to figure everything out at once. Let go of the fear that you are falling behind. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be. And as you continue forward, you will begin to feel something new, a sense of calm that stays with you, a quiet strength that supports you, a knowing that does not need to be explained. That is the grace of this moment. That is the presence surrounding you. That is the truth you are stepping into. Type "I receive peace" in the comments if you accept this message. Blessing code 909 is now released over your life. As this message settles into your spirit, understand this: what you have received was never meant to stop with you. The Lord whispers, those who carry the light must also release it. And right now, you are being invited into that sacred flow. When you sow into this mission, you are planting seeds into hearts that are still searching for peace just like you once were. Say within yourself, "I am a vessel of this light," and move with faith as you give. Just as grace has surrounded your life, your seed becomes the grace that reaches someone else in their moment of need. This is not just giving. This is alignment with heaven's purpose, a divine exchange that opens unseen doors. Use the super thanks or the PayPal link in the description, with the QR code placed for you, and release what has been placed on your heart. And as you do, receive this blessing, your life will overflow with the same peace, protection, and divine favor that you have just stepped into.